There's a moment that happens quietly in many people's lives, usually not during heartbreak, not during chaos, but during stillness. A moment when they begin to notice something strange about their relationships. Different people, different faces, different stories, yet somehow the same emotional pattern keeps repeating. The same fear, the same insecurity, the same dynamic, the same ending. And they whisper to themselves, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with confusion, why do I keep choosing the same kind of person? Or why do I always end up in the same situation? Or why do my relationships always follow the same script, even when I try to change? What most people don't realize is that the pattern they repeat in their adult relationships is not random. It's not about bad luck, emotional weakness, or some universal curse. It is about the nervous system choosing what feels familiar, not what feels healthy. And familiarity is shaped long before someone ever enters their first romantic relationship. It comes from attachment, the emotional blueprint formed in childhood. The blueprint that taught them what love feels like, what love requires, and what love threatens. Today we're going to explore why someone keeps repeating the same relationship pattern over and over, even when they consciously desire something different. Why the heart feels drawn to certain people, why anxiety rises with others, why stability sometimes feels uncomfortable, and why the same emotional story keeps unfolding across different relationships. And at the end, there will be a practical framework you can use to understand your attachment patterns and begin shifting them gently from the inside out. To begin, the most important truth is this: people don't choose partners based on what they want. They choose partners based on what their nervous system recognizes. A person may say, I want someone emotionally available. But if emotional availability was never safe in childhood, the body will reject it. Someone may say, I want stability. But if they grew up in chaos, stability will feel unfamiliar and therefore suspicious. Someone may say, I want love that feels peaceful. But if their childhood taught them that love always comes with intensity, conflict, unpredictability, or rescue missions, then peaceful love will feel like nothing at all, and the body will push it away. Most people assume attraction is chemistry, but chemistry is often the nervous system recognizing a familiar emotional frequency, even if that frequency once caused pain. Let's go deeper. Attachment styles are not labels meant to box people in. They are emotional survival strategies created when someone was too young to understand what was happening inside them. These strategies form quietly through experiences like, was comfort available? Were emotions welcomed or dismissed? Was love stable or inconsistent? Could someone rely on their caregivers? Did they have to earn affection or perform for approval? Did they feel safe expressing needs? Did they feel safe being themselves? These early experiences turn into internal rules. Rules that say, to stay safe, I must not depend on anyone. To stay safe, I must cling to connection. To stay safe, I must stay small. To stay safe, I must fix everyone. To stay safe, I must anticipate danger. These rules become the lens through which someone sees love, and the lens becomes the pattern. Let's explore the common attachment patterns through real, human moments. Imagine someone with an anxious attachment pattern. When they were young, attention might have come unpredictably, warm one moment, distant the next. They learned that love can disappear without warning. They learned they must stay alert, watch for signs, overthink every pause, overanalyze every silence, and cling tightly to connection to avoid losing it. Now, as an adult, even when someone loves them, their body cannot relax. A delayed text becomes rejection. A neutral tone becomes withdrawal. A partner needing space feels like abandonment. And so they protest, reach out more, ask for reassurance, or become emotionally intense. Not because they want to overwhelm the other person, but because their nervous system believes connection requires constant vigilance. Now imagine someone with avoidant attachment. Their childhood taught them that emotional closeness comes with cost, pressure, intrusion, responsibility, or suffocation. Maybe their caregivers were inconsistent, overwhelming, dismissive, or unavailable. So the child learned to self-soothe, stay independent, avoid vulnerability, and rely only on themselves. As an adult, when someone gets close, intimacy feels threatening. Not consciously, but bodily. They pull back, create distance, shut down, or suddenly feel off when a relationship deepens. They care, deeply, more than they admit, but closeness feels like losing control. Dependence feels like danger. Opening up feels like exposure. And then there are people with disorganized attachment, individuals who experienced both comfort and fear from the same source. For them, love is confusing, safe and unsafe, warm and cold, desired and feared. Their relationships reflect that inner confusion. They come close, then run away. They crave intimacy, then feel overwhelmed by it. They want stability, but chaos feels weirdly familiar. They don't know how to be in love without a layer of self-protection always humming beneath the surface. And finally, secure attachment. Not perfection, not fantasy, just steadiness. People with secure attachment learned early on that love can be trusted. Conflict doesn't mean collapse. Needs don't equal danger. Vulnerability isn't a trap. These individuals are not better. They simply had nervous systems that were allowed to rest in connection. They bring that rest into their relationships as adults. But here's the crucial piece. Attachment styles are adaptive, not permanent. They are the emotional strategies that made sense in childhood, not the destiny of someone's adulthood. They are not fixed personality traits. They are not life sentences. They are patterns the nervous system can learn to shift with awareness, honesty, and new experiences of safety. Now let's talk about why these patterns repeat in relationships. People are drawn to what they unconsciously believe they can survive. Someone with anxious attachment may feel intense attraction to someone avoidant, not because it is healthy, but because it mirrors the push-pull dynamic of their childhood. Someone with avoidant attachment may feel drawn to people who pursue them, because the familiar intensity reinforces their belief that closeness is dangerous. Someone with a chaotic history may feel bored when connection is calm, because their nervous system equates intensity with meaning. You can see this in everyday situations. A person may meet someone kind, consistent, emotionally available, and feel nothing. They say, "There's no spark." But the spark they are missing is the anxiety spike they have mistaken for attraction. Their body has confused activation with chemistry, and so they walk away from healthy dynamics, not because they don't want them, but because their nervous system has not yet learned to recognize safety as desirable. Or consider this example. Someone always ends up being the caretaker in relationships. They choose partners who need fixing, rescuing, or emotional management. Why? Because in childhood, being useful kept them connected. Being the caretaker made them valuable. So as an adult, they repeat the same role, even if it exhausts them. The pattern feels familiar, and familiar feels like love. Or another example, someone always chooses partners who are emotionally unavailable. They say they hate it, but they keep repeating it. Why? Because emotional unavailability allows them to remain safe behind their own walls. If the other person is unavailable, they never have to be fully available either. The pattern protects them from real vulnerability. When patterns repeat, it's never because someone is broken. It's because their body is loyal to the emotional world that shaped them. Now let's explore why these patterns continue even when a person becomes aware of them. Awareness is not enough to break an attachment pattern. The nervous system doesn't speak the language of logic. It speaks the language of experience. So even if someone says, "I know this relationship isn't good for me," their body may still feel magnetized toward it. Because the body follows familiarity, not intention. This is where the spiritual dimension becomes powerful. Many people believe love is supposed to wake them up, but often, love first reveals the wounds that need healing. The right person doesn't instantly fix your attachment style. They activate the parts of you that need attention. They bring the shadow to the surface. They invite you to see yourself clearly, not to shame you, but to free you. Attachment healing is spiritual work because it requires awareness, compassion, patience, and the willingness to stay present with parts of yourself that were left alone for years. So now let's move into the practical part, a framework you can use to understand and begin transforming your relationship patterns. The first step is observation. Not judgment, not analysis, observation. Notice what types of people you feel drawn to. Notice how your body reacts to closeness, distance, silence, conflict, affection. Notice which moments make you anxious and which make you want to withdraw. This observation gives you a map. The second step is identification. Ask yourself, what pattern keeps repeating in my relationships? Is it fear of abandonment? Fear of intimacy? choosing partners you must fix, feeling unworthy, pushing people away when they get close. Identifying the pattern turns something unconscious into consciousness. The third step is tracing. Ask, where did this pattern begin? Not to blame anyone, but to understand. What did love look like in childhood? What did you have to do to feel safe? What emotions were allowed? What emotions were punished? This is not about dwelling on the past. It's about seeing the origin of the pattern clearly. The fourth step is sensation. Instead of thinking about the pattern, feel it in your body. Where does the fear of abandonment live? Where does the fear of closeness live? Where does the distrust live? Healing attachment requires working with the nervous system, not just the mind. The fifth step is repatterning. Choose one small moment to act differently. If you tend to pull away, try staying 1 second longer. If you tend to cling, try giving yourself one moment of self-soothing before reaching out. If you tend to hide emotions, try expressing one small truth. Attachment patterns shift through micro-experiences of safety. The sixth step is communication. Learn to name what you're feeling without blaming. Say things like, when you become distant, my anxiety wakes up, or closeness is hard for me, but I'm trying. This type of communication rewires the relational field. And finally, the seventh step is compassion, the most important of all. Without compassion, the inner child remains defensive. But with compassion, the pattern softens. The nervous system relaxes. Healing becomes possible. The truth is this: you don't repeat relationship patterns because you're destined to. You repeat them because they were once your survival strategy. And the moment you begin to understand and gently update those strategies, your relationships begin to transform from the inside out. If this message resonated, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to understand their own patterns. We don't rewrite our attachment stories alone. We do it with awareness, gentleness, and connection.